Welcome to the City of Edmonton Community Investment Funding Portal. My name is Lise, and I'm a member of the Community Investment Funding team. In this presentation, we will be going over how to apply for an operating grant. First, you must ensure that your organization is registered within the portal and has been validated. For assistance on how to register your organization, please see our video on how to complete that process. This video will be available on the grant page. Once this is completed, you will be able to view the funding opportunities that are available. Before starting your application, first visit the web page for the grant that you would like to apply to. You will be able to see a full list of the available grants at edmonton.ca/grants and select the grant that you are looking for. Then review the grant guide thoroughly. Confirm that your organization meets the criteria to apply for the grant, and confirm that you have all the required documents. First, you must go to the portal webpage to log in. The link will also be listed on the individual grant pages for those grants being administered by Community Investment. Once you've logged in, the portal will appear like the image below. The open funding opportunities can be viewed at the left of the page. If you have reviewed the grant criteria and are eligible to apply, then we will start the application process. We will start by clicking the funding opportunities. And here we will see a list of all the available grants. At this time, there is one grant available, and that is an operating grant. We will scroll down to the bottom of the information to the Apply Now button and click that. Here are our eligibility questions. Please be sure to read these carefully before selecting your response, as it could determine whether or not your organization is eligible for this grant. Once we have completed these, then we click Submit. And I am just going to click No on all three just to get us through to the next step of the process. Here you can see a summary of your responses to the eligibility questions, and at the bottom of the page, you can hit the Begin Application button to get started. Here you will see a few tabs that need to be completed as part of this application. The first tab is the contact information, and the organization and primary contact information have already been generated. If your main contact for this grant is different than the primary contact, please complete this field here. Below, we will find the authorized signatories for the grant. This grant requires 2 signatories, and you will be required to provide the first, last name, and email address for those 2 individuals. At any time during this process, you can hit Save Draft to save the work that you've completed so far and come back to it later. Or you can hit Withdraw if you would like to cancel your application completely and perhaps start over at a later time. Now we will go to the Grant Description tab. Here you must review all the questions carefully and answer them all completely. Once you have done so, you can move to the Financial Information tab. Here is where we will take the information from your most recent financial statements to complete this form. Here is an example of an internally generated financial statement that we will use to complete the form. For the purposes of an operating grant, we will use the statement of operations, and we're looking at the expenses. Here we will look at the total expenses, and then we will add all the ineligible expenses, things like amortization, some repairs and maintenance, and fundraising expenses. So ensure you add your financial year start and end date here, and then we will start to add the expenses. Once you've added the total expenses, we must remove the eligible expenses, and by doing so, we will complete the financial form button here. Here you are shown a list of the different ineligible expenses for this grant, so you can review those quickly. This information is also available on the grant guide. And we will go down, and by clicking this plus button, we can add a row for the ineligible expenses. We will start by adding the amortization, then repairs and maintenance. In the description area, you can add a description of the expense for more detail, or if you're using a portion of an expense rather than the entire expense, you can put those details here. Then we will add our fundraising expense. As you can see, it totals all here at the bottom. Once we hit save, it will show up on our financial information form. And you can see those items listed here. In order to generate the total ineligible expenses, total eligible expenses, and the maximum eligibility, we must hit Save Draft. And here, everything is totaled up after the ineligible expenses were added. Further here, we're also going to attach the financial statements that we used today. This can be done by dropping them into this box or by clicking Browse Files to choose them from your Documents folder. This last tab is just a summary of the eligibility expenses that you've already completed. At any time during this process, as we said, we can hit Save Draft or Withdraw. If you have completed all the information, you can hit Submit. Before you submit your application, ensure that you review all of the questions. Ensure that you answer the questions accurately. Ensure that you have the most recent financial statements that you use to complete the financial information form. If you're unsure about the financial statement requirement, a financial information resource video and examples of the types of documents you may need is available at edmonton.ca/grants. Once your application has been submitted, you will receive a copy of the application via email. You will also have the ability to make edits to your application if required. If you have any further questions regarding the application process or require further assistance using the new portal, please contact us at grants@edmonton.ca. Thank you.